Hello everyone, this is In-Game Art doing the boxing and breakdown of the demo. This is Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night for the PlayStation 4. To start things right off, there was a pretty good large update available. This update size is 3.1 gigabytes big, so very disappointing to see such a large update right out the door. This update version is 1.02, and it mostly consists of bug fixes, balancing, and just a little bit more polish to the game. Your normal typical update. Now there will be more updates down the line that will add more playable characters, modes, and multiplayer. Now, on that note, the game's back of the case says it supports 1 to 2 players, but bear in mind, currently, since I'm making this video and on disc, there is no multiplayer. That will be added later as an update. I think it's a little disappointing and felt a little wrong to say the game supports multiplayer when it technically doesn't. I'm not a big fan of the will be, release it now and add more to it later. I'm not a fan of this. Now if you notice that I have a different kind of case than your typical one, I have the Kickstarter support case. Now, there's no difference between the Kickstarter version and the vanilla version you bought at your local game store or so on. All the difference is the Kickstarter version came with the sleeve cover around the case. That's it, so don't worry about being some difference between the games. Now onto the game. Now, Bloodstained is a Metroidvania-style game. It is a spiritual successor to Castlevania Symphony in the Night, and it was created by the original creator of the Castlevania series. So there's a lot of hype and build-up and feeling to the game. Now, for a lot of people, and I gotta agree, the game delivered strongly to the Castlevania Symphony in the Night and Metroidvania style game. As I said, it's a spiritual successor, so it follows its shoes really strongly, where at the beginning of the game you feel really weak, you feel really dull, there's not a lot to the game, you don't feel like there's much to the game. But when you play more of the game and see more of the game and more of the map and all the abilities, you start seeing the bigger picture of the game, like double jump, shortcut, ability to swim, as well as seeing all the other enemies' abilities in the game. There's a lot of content here, and it follows strongly and very well done to the Metroidvania, as well as a great successor to Castlevania Symphony in the Night. Now, in story-wise, you play as Miriam, and you're going after Gabriel, who has recreated the demon's castle, and you need to stop him from wiping out all of humanity. Your typical I gotta stop the bad guy kind of story. Now, Miriam, I disappointingly am not the biggest fan of her character. I think she's a well-modeled character and everything, but her personality-wise is your typical Mother Teresa, Mrs. Helpful, and everything. I don't know, her character just didn't rub well with me. I think she should have been more of a distant character, a little bit more aloof. From what the experiments that's been done to her, because she is a shardbinder from the alchemy labs, it feels like she should have been a little bit more distant from everyone, but she just felt more cheerful and helpful and just, I don't know, just wasn't my character that I saw for Miriam. But that's a personal taste there. But she plays great and functions and smooths really well, so she does deliver at least as a good protagonist to play as in that form. Now, the story isn't anything amazing, but the world it builds around it is very well done. From going into battleships, to going to the castle, to riding trains, to going in these caves, and so forth, there's a lot of varieties in the areas in the game. Now, I can see a lot of people being a hit and miss in terms of graphics. To me, the graphics are a hit and miss. Sometimes the game's graphics look really good, like Miriam looks really good, and certain interactions and cutscenes do look good. But other times, it does look a bit bland and not the best graphics. Now, again, I'm not a graphics person. I don't really care. I particularly love sprite graphics, and that's the lowest standard in graphics. But sometimes there's a little bit of a hit and mix within the graphics design. But again, that's more of a personal touch to the game. Now, before I slip this mind, I want to talk about certain aspects about the game. Now, when I played it, I did encounter many bugs in the game. And I'm pretty sure this good-sized 3 gigabyte update does fix a lot of the bugs. But I've had the game crash twice on me. I've had times where I got stuck in the environment. And I got other times where my hair, I was bald. It was just a lot of mixed bugs here and there. And I'm very disappointed to see the game got released in such a unfinished state. And just to see more content is being promised going to be available later. As somebody who's kickstarted this project, I'm going to say I'm disappointed to see that they released this game when it wasn't ready or wasn't done. I would have preferred if they probably waited another year to polish it out, or maybe 6 months to actually finish the game and add all the content they're supposed to be adding later. But I know that's not a big and popular with everyone else, but that's just my personal feeling as someone who's kickstarted the project. Very disappointed in that area. But the overall game is very well done. I love the shard binding in the game. You gather all the kinds of enemy shards. Each one is unique and different and provides a different play style. There's so many kinds of weapons in the games, between kung fu to daggers to guns to great swords, your long swords to katanas, maces, axes. There's lots of weapons to the game, and every accessory you can see on Miriam, from her scarf to her helmet to her shoes to her fingers to glasses and hats and masks. Now, disappointingly, armor does not change her outfit, so that was a little disappointing in my book. As well as that eventually in the game you will come across a barber who will change your hairstyle, change the color of your default outfit, or change your eye color or your skin color. So there's a lot of variety in that term. As well as there's crafting in the game, where you can craft weapons as well as items, prepare foods, as well as there's a store to buy items, and there's a bookstore you can get a permanent stat upgrade. There's a lot of content here that will keep you busy for hours, especially if you're a 100% completionist. And there's lots of items and lots of hidden areas to find in the game. So, as the game aspects of the game, it is very well done, and I really enjoyed myself. I didn't really care too much for story, but just exploring and just finding all the weapons and abilities and seeing what everything the game has provide, it kept me going. I could not put the game down. But I do hope that maybe we'll get a Game of the Year edition, or how do you say, a complete edition, or as I would like to call it, the Master Shards edition. And then we will get all the updates and DLC and so forth all on disc, and then having this, how do you say, broken beta version of the game. So if you want a personal opinion, I do have to say you might want to just hold off and just wait for it's cheaper or something like that, just because of the amount of bugs and just irritation it has in the game. As well as that they're maybe going to eventually release a complete edition, so you might just be better off holding off. Now, this is somebody who's kickstarted the project and does love the game. And again, I'm just a person who does not do DLC updates, microtransactions, or redeem codes. So I'm just extremely disappointed to see such a broken beta version of the game. Now, you may have not experienced any bugs in your entire time you played through, but again, I do not update my game, so I played my entire time, and I will not download this 3.1 gigabyte update, regardless if it fixed the bugs. This update and all of its content should have already been on the disc day one. I stand by that, and I will live by that. Now, like I said, it is an amazingly good game. It's just the product could have been better. That's the best way I can describe it. Software good, product bad. But for the most part, it's a fun game, and I am happy that this is one of those good few Kickstarters that really shined and showed that kickstarting a game can really be a good thing. And like I said, hopefully we'll get a complete or Game of the Year edition and so forth down the road. For my recommendation, yes, if you're curious, or you love Metroidvania styles, or you love Castlevania styles, music, environment, and so forth, then it's a game for you. But if you're working with a limited budget, you might want to hold off and just wait for them maybe to add more to the game by updates, or just hold off for the Game of the Year edition of the game. So, thank you all for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye-bye!